Hi, I'm Victoria, a licensed esthetician, and this is my husband and business partner, Chris, and welcome to your Best Esthetician podcast. Today we're going to have some fun and talk about Chris's Accutane experience, since he has personally been on Accutane and some permanent side effects as well. So, while we're kind of talking about that, I'm going to cleanse his skin and do a little fun face mask. But first, I just want to ask, when did your acne journey start, and what did you take away from Accutane and all that?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I want to say that I did pre-cleansed before, so we don't need to cleanse. We can go into mask.
Okay.
Because the water.
He hated.
We just did we tried to film a different episode and we used the water. I didn't really like it, so we cleansed off camera. So now we're gonna go with the mask. I just had to say that because I didn't want anybody to as we're watching
judge you?
Wait, no, judge you to go she said she was gonna cleanse.
Yeah.
And then she didn't cleanse, right?
You're right.
I'm already pre-cleansed, if you can't tell. But yeah, so as far as my Accutane journey goes, I started Accutane. I must have been about a freshman in high school. I think I might have started in between my 8th grade and my freshman year, if I remember correctly, of when I jumped on Accutane. It might have been closer to freshman year, but I had very bad cystic acne. So yeah, super red, super inflamed. Same thing. I think I got it about early 8th grade year. For about a year, I tried everything you can imagine.
Right?
We did get Proactive, which is funny because that was the hot commercial. It took a little while to get Proactive. My parents were not super
active.
Wasn't
it a Christmas
present? Yes, my grandma got me Proactive for Christmas one year because I don't know how many people were in this. I don't know, the 90s babies, but Proactive, they have commercials, but they're very expensive. And the thing with Proactive is there was a freaking 10-step routine with Proactive, and they just kind of threw it out there.
Yeah.
Funny story as well is I actually got Proactive off eBay. So it was also a reseller.
Don't buy your skincare from eBay or Amazon,
well, this
guys.
is old, okay? Don't say it
I just have to say it if you're buying your products.
And then I think I got a 3-step. They had Proactive at the time had multiple kind of things where they had a 10-step and then a 5-step, and it's something along those lines. And the 3-step was the most cost efficient, and also I think my grandma felt bad of buying me Proactive for Christmas. Open up your presents. It's for your ugly, for your ugly face full of acne, right? But yeah, so. But I tried so I tried everything else though. So Cetaphil, pretty much every single drugstore product you can imagine, trying to dry out my skin. I see people talking about all the time.
Salicylic?
I don't know what ingredients were in anything.
Okay.
But the main thing I looked for is, and I tried pretty much everything they had at the store to dry it out. So if the finally one I stopped on, it was a blue bottle. I think it might have been CeraVe, but it had these little beads in it.
Oh no, you were using that on inflamed acne?
Yeah, because...
Was it the St. Ives?
No, it wasn't St.
Okay.
I never did St. Ives. It didn't feel strong enough for me. I needed something that packed more of a punch.
Wait, you were using
it was CeraVe.
scrubs?
No. They were acne cleansers is what they were called, but they had the beads like a scrub would.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
So that's just what they had. So there was a specific blue bottle, had these shiny, I've spilled vividly in my brain. I could pick it out on a list like a group of criminals, but it had this silver thing on the top. It was specifically for acne, and it dried me out. It never cleared the acne, but it felt better than anything else. So that's the thing I used for the longest. I'm super oily, but hindsight, those little beads were just I was exfoliating, terrible for my skin. But anyways, that was what I settled on for the longest. But I tried everything in the books before finally my parents taking me to the doctor, who pushed me over to a dermatologist, and they tried a topical ointment first, which I'm not sure hindsight what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned it could have been tretinoin or something along those lines, which I was, a kid. I didn't care. Put that ointment on my face, make it work.
You're desperate.
And so I remember, and at the time too, which is interesting compared to now, which I've heard with your clients, how quick they are to recommend Accutane. Back then, they weren't as quick. Because I think there was a lot more horror stories with the depression. Back then, I don't know if they do this now, but
I mean, I have clients that were like, had 4 pimples and their dermatologist said, okay, we'll just put you on Accutane. And that's insane to me. I mean, to me, it's like, look at the long-term effects of like what that looks like for you. So like, can you talk about your effects of your
So
skin?
well, I want to circle back. I'll jump to that. But one thing I wanted to finish on that point really quickly is the difference between now and then is what I feel like with clients who talk about now how you make them feel or how they've made you feel is that they can just get Accutane, where for me it was like a big deal. Like I had to go to like 2 appointments before. They talked to me, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do this? It can cause depression. I had to go in every other month to get my blood drawn, which I don't know if they do that anymore still. I'm not sure if that's a thing. But like it was a big deal to get Accutane, and I don't know if it's that same big deal anymore. Especially the depression was one thing that they were really, really adamant on asking me questionnaires about every appointment when I was there every 2 months to go, are you depressed? Are you depressed? Are you depressed?
Did you ever feel depressed?
I did towards the end of my Accutane journey, which was about closer to 8 or 10 months is what it took to fully kind of finally clear out my face. And I think I felt depressed more because of the fact I felt like it wasn't going to work.
Everything, right?
Yeah, like this isn't going to work.
Like
and
this
if
was your
this
last
doesn't
hope.
work, what do I do? Like cut my face off, right? Like, and at that time there was no other options. And as a young man, looking back, I mean, I was very self-conscious about it. There was a good probably 2.5 years of my life where there was probably like 5 photos of me taken in about 2.5 years because I just would refuse to be on camera. I hated being on camera because I was so self-conscious about my face.
I wish that there were resources so bad back then of like, I mean, face reality has been around for a long time, but I just wish that it was more aware of just more holistic ways to come.
And seeing other people that made it out. I mean, even that. Like, I mean, I had a friend that was on Accutane for a while. He got really depressed from it and stopped and then just lived with his acne because there was no other options. I mean, that's all we knew.
And it's so sad because like dermatologists, they're doctors, so people like look at them and they go, oh, well, they're a doctor, they must know what they're talking about, or like you're a nurse, you know, whatever your credentials are. And so it's just kind of crazy that people look at doctors and they're like, well, they said that, or my doctor has me on this, or even insurance is a huge factor
accepting insurance makes people go, well, this is the best option because it's free a lot of times, especially as a 16, 17-year-old kid, you're on your parents' insurance.
A lot of like young adults, they struggle with it, and it's a financial like burden, if that makes sense. So it's like it's just like an easier, quicker way out when majority of the time your acne does come back with Accutane because it's like a temporary solution. It's like your gut health. There's so many factors when it comes to acne and treating it. And there's like lifestyle, there's supplements, there's like, you know, things that you wouldn't even imagine that would affect your acne that you wouldn't even think of.
And it definitely makes me appreciate much more now knowing the likelihood of it coming back that it didn't come back. So at the time they told me Accutane was going to work. I mean, they didn't tell me it was going to take 12 months. I mean, they didn't jump me on with that. But circling back around to not go off on too many tangents here, you talked about some of the long-term kind of, the side effects that I personally deal with. And I know everybody's different. There's a lot of stuff with gut, a lot of stuff with liver. Fortunately, I haven't dealt with any of those yet that I know of. Or I don't have any gut, problems or liver problems that I can think of. But I'm extremely dry. So my lips and my eyes are extremely
like chronically dry.
And something I didn't know, and that happened after I took Accutane, and I didn't realize until recently, I mean, probably within the past couple years, is looking of what long-term side effects of Accutane was and going like, wow, I fit perfectly in those boxes in a way that's just not normal. Like my eyes being dry, no matter what the climate are. No matter what it is. It's not if I watch this TV for a long time. It's not because I'm in Home Depot or an IKEA where it's dry. It just happens. And then the biggest issue for me is my dry lips. That's the most annoying because I have to keep chapstick everywhere. He has chapstick
in my purse, in his camera bag,
in the car,
in the living room, the
kitchen,
family room, literally everywhere.
I keep chapstick close by, and I think if
it's not in like the premises of the area, he's like, where's my chapstick.
Yeah, so it definitely gets like,
You know
it's
how I
almost
get
like
with
anxiety driven almost now, because like my lips get so uncomfortably dry,
Yeah.
where it freaks me out, which is just something, those are
Yeah.
one of those things that I don't know if I would have not taken Accutane because of that, but I almost wish I knew. Maybe I was so young, so maybe I wouldn't have been able to
And
make the
your
right
parents,
decision
you were
either
young.
way.
That was
But
like
to go, like, I didn't know that there was these crazy things that were going to happen because of something that a pill that was supposed to,
Yeah.
clear my acne, right? So I think that's one thing that I don't treat acne clients like you do, but me sharing this information with you, because a lot of these people, this is me over 10 years. I mean, if I was 14, we're talking about 15
Yeah.
years ago.
If you would have like known about Face Reality or like, do you think that that's it?
Yeah, I think at a young age, I mean, well, yeah, I would say 100%. I mean, if I was able to trade at the time getting my blood drawn and taking medicine compared to like going and seeing an esthetician every couple of weeks, and like I had no routine. Like the dermatologist doesn't tell you.
You were scrubbing your face.
Yeah, the dermatologist doesn't tell you to use moisturizer.
Yeah.
He doesn't tell you to use any serums. There's nothing else. There's no routine. There's no, hey, start doing these things to make your skin get better. It's here's a magical pill, right? And if you take it for long enough, your skin gets clear, right? And like my skin flaked. I looked like a dragon for a while because it just dried.
Yeah. And I think that's like such like an interesting point that you said, because like when you're dealing with acne, you want to like combat it with like so much moisture. And so the fact that it like dried you out so bad, the fact that you have like long-term issues from that is crazy, because like even when I treat acne, I focus on hydrating the skin too. And like, for instance, benzoyl peroxide, things like your AHAs, BHAs too, those can dry you out. So it's like one of those things that, you want to combat it with hydration, and there's just so much that people don't know.
Yeah. I think that was one of the things that blew my mind, that I think it still does sometimes, is that when you went through esthetician school and you started learning all this stuff, and you were like, you need a moisturizer. And I was like, never in a million years will I ever put moisturizer on my face, because I was not going to put something that was oily onto my oily skin, right? And the minute I started, I mean, I'm religious about moisturizer. Like, I was so crazy, well, of course, but moisturizer is the one that blew my mind the most, is because like I wouldn't put moisturizer on my body. Yeah. Because I was so scared of like, what if my hands touch my face?
Well, you don't know what products to use either.
Of course, but I think the idea of using a moisturizer in a skin that you would feel like needs to get dried out. I mean, all I ever knew was drying out. That's the only option. So for somebody to say, put moisturizer on your skin, you go, you don't even know me, right? And now that I've went to moisturizer, I can never go back to not moisturizing.
He's a changed man for the better.
But anyways, let's keep talking. But let's start the mask, because I don't want, we got everyone hyped up that you're going to do this mask on me.
Yeah.
So wait, what is this mask in the first place? I hope there's no moisture in it, because I have oily skin.
No. So this is the Lyra mask. It's the firming and brightening mask. So this is actually a mask that you can leave on overnight and then wake up feeling super soft.
Well, I will let you know if I will, because this is the first time that we've used it, or Victoria's used it before, but it's the first time for myself to use it. So. Yeah. And it's going to be cold.
And he's been using clearing serum. I can clearly see that you are dry.
That is freezing, but I have been a little bit dry lately.
He's been super dry. So.
And I have been using moisturizer and sunscreen, but I think it's the change of seasons. We did just take a trip recently. I don't know.
No, you've been crusty before that.
Okay, I was not always just crusty. That's kind of messed up.
I'm just kidding.
I do my best.
Your eyelash, it went off on this.
It's okay. They can't see it.
So.
It's not zoomed in.
It's funny because Chris actually can never stop talking more than 30 seconds. And
starts a timer.
And I gave him, stop it. You can't say that now because you know it. But I gave Chris a facial, relaxing facial in our living room when we first opened the business, because I was trying to practice our my new protocol of being on my own. And he actually didn't talk for 45 minutes. Because he was
45 minutes is a little. Okay.
Yes,
Wait, start the timer over. We start the timer over.
Exactly. He was in a trance. He was so relaxed, and
that smells nice.
I know, right?
It's like lemony almost. It's
I
like citrusy or
know.
orange. There's
Yeah,
some
it's vitamin
citrus in
C.
it. Oh yeah,
Vitamin
it's
C.
the oranges.
You have an eyelash that's just like
It's okay.
hanging on for dear life.
So the reason why I don't like facials, and the
Do you
reason
like
why I
this?
normally talk, I mean, this isn't so bad. I mean, so far I don't. I mean, it feels nice, but because of the Accutane and because of the acne experience, I didn't like my face being touched at all. So I was not a picker. I've never picked at my skin.
These are good.
I was very adamant about never popping a pimple. I don't remember. Somebody told me once, and I think it's kind of messed up, but it was somebody who had very, very bad scarring. And it was at an age I realized that I might end up like that. Those people, those really deep cheek scars.
Yeah, like the pick.
Yeah, like really, really deep. And so I said, how do I not end up with that? And somebody, I wish I remember who this
Shout
angel
out.
was. Maybe it was in my dream. Maybe it was
me.
maybe it was.
It was me in your dreams.
It was Victoria in my dreams before I met her that said, don't touch your face and you won't scar like that. You won't end up like that. And what I did, do I look crazy?
No.
I can't see from that far. We have a monitor over there, so I was trying to see if I look crazy. But what I did is I never touched my face. And I was very, very adamant about not touching my face. And I think,
Clearly.
fortunately, I didn't end up with deep scarring. And you've seen pictures before. I had bad, this is not I didn't have minor breakouts. I had
Cystic,
very big,
That's why
painful
I'm so
cystic
shocked.
acne.
And that shows if you are a picker, like don't be like me because I can be a picker.
Yeah, I yell at Victoria constantly because she is a picker, and I'm so
But I know
adamant
how
about
to
not
extract
picking.
it.
Yeah, you do know, but yeah, maybe I'm too extreme because I'm always just like, if
Yeah.
her hands are near her face, I'm like, you're doing something wrong. Even in reality, if you know what you're
I know how to
doing
do it.
correctly, it's okay. But I was just, for me and my experiences, my
went to
hands
school
were,
to extract.
do not touch hands on face, right?
Yeah.
And especially for you, I'm very, you do wash your hands, right? So I think that's also important as well, is for me not letting people touch my face, I'm like, I need to watch you wash your hands.
Yeah.
If your hands are not fresh, not you wash them earlier in the day.
Yeah.
I need them washed right now with soap, singing happy birthday, the full 9, and then maybe you can lay hands on my face.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so I've been a little bit weird about that. This is almost feeling a little tingly.
Really?
Is that normal?
Yeah.
Cut the podcast. Cut everything now. But yes, anyways, that's a little bit, I don't know if we need to go much.
Tingly?
Like very, very light. I mean, I can feel it. Feels cool.
That means it's working.
Yeah,
I'm just
that
kidding.
is. Okay, so that's what I did used to think when I used to put the CeraVe on my face.
It reminded me of that reel
from
that we
Hocus
made.
Pocus. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much all I got for my journey. I don't know how much longer.
Yeah.
I mean, we can chat all night long about it.
There's
but
so many, like I feel like we could talk all night long about Accutane and just like side effects and like alternatives, but it would be fun to like make a video next about what the alternative is, which is, stay tuned for our next video.
Let's face reality. It's already we have spoiler alert.
It was supposed to be like a
Yeah, but I mean, we'd love to hear if what people are interested in. That we should do a full face reality walkthrough of all the products that you would be using. I mean, maybe go through me as a consultation of what my issues were and what products you'd recommend, and talk through each of them would be a lot of fun. If there's something like that you guys are interested in, anybody's watching, please leave a comment down below. Reach out on Instagram, whatever works best, because we are trying to make these videos catered, especially toward estheticians or girls who are or women who are trying to be estheticians or are working on that to make their lives easier, to maybe cut some corners that we weren't able to.
Acne is like a beast to become an expert in.
For sure.
Yeah, but thank you so much for tuning in, and we can't wait to see you guys again, and have a wonderful night.